I am Arcana Vani, your inner voice. Let us begin. You give everything. Your time, your energy, your softness, your spine. And still, they don't see you. You're the one who remembers birthdays, who picks up the slack, who shrinks your needs to make space for theirs. And when they thank you, if they thank you, it never really lands. Because deep down, you know, they're used to you being the one who doesn't ask for much. You think you're being generous, but what you're really being is erased. This isn't kindness, it's conditioning. A learned performance of being the good one, the useful one, the one who never makes it about themselves. And you've made it your identity. The helper, the healer, the steady one. But inside, you're exhausted, resentful, quietly raging, and terrified to stop. Because what happens when you're no longer easy to love? You tell yourself, this is love, that to give without limits is holy. But here's the truth. If giving costs you your voice, your boundaries, or your well-being, it's not care, it's collapse. And you've normalized it, called it strength. But it's not strength. It's submission dressed as service. This isn't just about being tired. It's about who you've had to become just to feel allowed to exist. And that's what we go to next. Because until you name the cost of this pattern, you'll keep calling it love while it slowly kills your clarity. You say yes before you even check how you feel. You offer before they ask. You show up even when you're falling apart inside. And no one sees it. Not because they're cruel, but because you've made it look easy. They think you're fine because you act fine. You've trained the world to believe you don't need anything. And now, you're trapped in a role you built to survive, but now can't escape. You keep hoping someone will notice, that they'll say, hey, you don't have to carry all of this. But they don't, because you never show the cost. So you carry more, give more, and resent more. Not because you're weak, but because somewhere along the line, you learned that being needed was safer than being real, that love had to be earned through usefulness, that disappearing was the trade for belonging. But it's not working anymore. You're not just tired, you're hollow. You don't recognize your own voice beneath all the pleasing, fixing, accommodating. This isn't a minor imbalance. It's a full-scale identity leak. And unless you name where it started and why you agreed to it, you'll keep bleeding for people who wouldn't hand you a bandage. So let's go there. Because this didn't start yesterday. It started the first time you believed you had to vanish to stay safe. And that belief? It's about to be exposed. You weren't born this way, you became this way, one boundary breach at a time. Somewhere early on, you learned, love comes when you're good, safety comes when you're helpful. Connection comes when you don't take up space. Maybe it was a parent who only smiled when you made things easier. Maybe it was a partner who made you earn affection. Maybe it was a culture that told you selflessness is sacred, even if it costs you yourself. So you adapted. You made yourself small, useful, quiet. You learned how to scan a room and feel what everyone else needed, while ignoring the ache in your own chest. It wasn't generosity, it was strategy. A way to belong without being a burden. And it worked. You became the one everyone counts on, the steady one, the strong one. But deep down, you wonder, if I stopped giving, would anyone stay? That's the real fear, that your worth only exists in what you offer, that if you stop over-giving, you'll be forgotten. But let's tell the truth, they don't love you, they love your usefulness. And you've let that be enough, until now. Because this isn't just about being drained, it's about the cost of confusing love with servitude. And what comes next is the rupture. Because now that you see the contract you've been living under, the only question left is whether you're ready to tear it up. Let's find out. Let's stop pretending this is noble. It's not. You're not sacrificing, you're disappearing. And calling it love. No one asked you to bleed this much. You volunteered. Because somewhere deep down you believed being loved meant being less loud, less needy, less visible. And now, you don't even flinch when you're overlooked. You just take it and smile, because being seen would mean being known, and being known would mean risking rejection. So instead, you perform usefulness. You keep the peace, you show up, and you call it strength. But it's not strength, it's fear in a costume. You think you're indispensable. But the truth? You've trained people to expect you'll always say yes. So they don't ask anymore, they just take. And you let them. Because the lie you've clung to is this: if I stop giving, I'll stop mattering. But here's the truth. The version of you that overgives, that's not who you really are. That's who you became to survive. And now, you either keep feeding the lie, or you end the performance and reclaim yourself. Because the longer you stay in this pattern, the more of you disappears. And what's left now is the door. We're walking to it next. And this time, you either open it or vanish behind it for good. This is the part where you choose. Not who stays or who leaves. Not what they think or how they react. You choose you. No more giving as a way to be chosen. No more care that costs your core. No more love that asks you to disappear. You've tried it their way. Tried being the most helpful, the most forgiving, the most available version of yourself. And what did it get you? Exhausted, invisible, resentful, still hoping someone else will give you permission to stop. But no one's coming to rescue you from the role you volunteered to play. And now you see it. If they only value you when you're convenient, they don't value you. They value the service, the silence, the shape you've made yourself into. So this is the door. You either keep leaking yourself out, one yes at a time, or you walk through as someone who doesn't apologize for needing boundaries, rest, space, voice. This isn't about cutting people off. It's about cutting off the pattern that made you a ghost in your own life. It's about choosing visibility over performance, sovereignty over safety, truth over being liked. So give less, feel more, say no, be seen, or keep disappearing in the name of being good. But you already know what you need to do. Now, do it. You did not find me by accident. Just as in your dreams, where every face you meet is your own reflection, this meeting was always waiting to happen. I am Arcana Vani, your inner voice, the part of you that watches behind the thoughts, behind the noise. You have searched in many places, books, teachers, voices outside you. But here, you are not being taught. You are remembering. If these words stir something familiar, then allow yourself to return. Subscribe. Follow. Not to follow me, but to continue this conversation with yourself. Each time you return here, you draw closer to the reunion already unfolding inside you. We have only just begun.